Hello and welcome to my live. It is Tuesday. What is today? Today is Tuesday, April 25th. Oh boy. All right. So I had a little bit of technical difficulty. So it's kind of 15 minutes after 3. So I'm going to get started now. So every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, I intend on coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube. So please join me when you can. I have the comment section, or what you want to call chat, on both Facebook and YouTube. So you can go ahead and leave a comment and let me know that you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. I am in the beautiful state of Michigan, and it's raining today, and that's okay. And it's 40 degrees. Woo, it's kind of chilly. But that means that it's springtime because pretty soon it's going to get warm. Today I'm going to make for you a really delicious side dish. It is mushrooms and garlic sauce, and the recipe is out of my first cookbook, Perceptions in Healthy Cooking. This cookbook came out over 20 years ago. That's my first one. And like I said, this is a side dish. Sometimes we all are thinking about one pot meals or putting everything into one dish all at once to make it easy. And that's good. I like that idea. In fact, I'm creating a cooking class in May using that idea. But sometimes when you have a little more time, maybe you're going to have a Sunday dinner, you need to make side dishes that are really flavorful, and side dishes complement your main course. And so this is a side dish, mushrooms and garlic sauce, and it's very easy to make too. So that's really nice about side dishes, is they're very easy to make, right? So the first ingredient, as the name implies, is going to be some garlic. I hope you like garlic. When I teach cooking classes, most people love garlic. In fact, when I teach cooking classes, most of the students say, add more garlic, add more garlic. Now, I know there is other people that are not as fond of garlic, and that's completely fine. You could substitute onion in this recipe if you want. If you're not a fan of garlic, you could just make it mushrooms and an onion sauce. That'll work too. All right, so garlic. Let me get here on the cutting board. So we're going to start with 6 garlic cloves, but when you're making a recipe, you want to pay attention to the size of the vegetables. So it says 6 garlic cloves, but this garlic clove is huge, right? This in itself, this is a big one. So I might use 6 of these, but if I'm using this, I'm probably going to use 3 of these. These are huge because each one is the equivalent of about 2 garlic cloves. So don't go overboard with the garlic if your garlic cloves are really big. The same thing if your garlic cloves are really small and it calls for 6 garlic cloves, you might want to throw a 7th one in there. And the best way to get the skin off of your garlic is to put it on the cutting board, put your knife on top of it, and give it a little whack. That cracks the skin, and then the skin comes off of the garlic just like that. Very nice. The best way to get the skin off of there, we'll do another one. Put your knife on top of it and just give it a little whack. Make sure you give it enough of a whack so the skin comes off. Whoops, well, that one landed on the floor, so I'll have to get that one later, but I have a couple extra ready to go. Now, this one happened to have a little blemish on it, so we're actually going to cut that little bad spot out of the garlic. Also, too, when you take the skin off the garlic, you have the end, which I call the butt. We don't want to use that because that's kind of, the texture's hard. We don't want to use that. So this one that had a blemish, we can just cut around that blemish. Parts of the garlic are still good. But again, we want 6 cloves of garlic. So the one that was huge, I actually cut. Sam says, hey, everyone. Hi, Sam. So the one that was really big, I cut into 3. So that's actually 3 cloves, 4, 5. I'm going to throw a little bit more in. That's a lot of garlic. That's approximately 6 garlic cloves. And I'm going to chop them up. I'm going to mince them like so. All right. Mince them like this. You just put them in the middle of the cutting board and you keep chopping until you get small pieces. That's minced garlic, like so. So garlic has been used in herbal medicine for thousands of years because of its antibacterial properties. Garlic is also antifungal, antiviral. That's what it's used for in herbal medicine. I like putting it in dishes because of its fantastic flavor. It is naturally pungent and it imparts a tremendous amount of flavor into your dish. So like I said, this starts with 6 garlic cloves. We have a wonderful amount of garlic there. It's really going to flavor the dish wonderful. Let me just clean off the cutting board here, like so. So we have our garlic ready to go. And then we need some mushrooms. So today I actually got some white button mushrooms and I got some baby Bella mushrooms. Of course, all the mushrooms are organic. The garlic is organic. But I thought I would walk you through how to wash the mushrooms because a lot of people think that when you get a mushroom, you just take some paper towel and you just brush the dirt off. I don't think that really gets the dirt off of the mushrooms. So this is what I do. This is how I wash them. Now I already washed the white ones ahead of time, but I'll demonstrate how to do the baby Bella mushrooms. The key here is to think of the mushrooms like a big sponge. They will absorb the water. So you don't want to put the mushrooms in a bowl and cover them with water. They'll just absorb all that water. I think that's why most people tell you that you shouldn't wash the mushrooms with water because most people leave it in the water for too long and then their mushrooms absorb a lot of that water. So here's what I do. You want to do this quick. You want to do it fast and efficient without getting very much water so the mushroom doesn't absorb it. Turn your water on, right? Take your mushroom and with your hands, just rub it like this and all that dirt will come off. You just rub it with your hands. Now, if you have a little vegetable knife, or excuse me, a vegetable brush, you could use a vegetable brush, but I just like using my hands. So that's what I do. I just try and see, you can see the dirt that's on the mushrooms, and you can see that your hands are basically getting it off just by rubbing it, just like so. And that's all you have to do to get the dirt off the mushrooms. You see how I'm not letting the mushrooms stay in the water very long? Just very quickly, like so. And then that bowl's over and done with. Dump out any excess water that might accumulated in there. And there are our baby Bella mushrooms, okay? So now that the mushrooms are all washed, let's start cooking the garlic. This is like I said, this is a side dish, but it's an easy side dish, and that's what's great about it. While your main course dish can be cooking, you can be making this. So we're going to start with 5 cups of mushrooms that are going to be chopped up eventually. So get yourself a nice big pan. This is my big saute pan, and I'm going to put it on the heat at a medium heat. Don't go high. Don't go really hot. You want just a nice medium heat. I'm going to take 4 tablespoons of organic olive oil, and I'm putting that in the pan. Right now, the pan is room temperature. It's all slowly heating up at the same time. I'm not starting it at a hot temperature, and I'm never going to let the pan get to an extremely hot temperature. It's just a medium heat. And then we're going to take all that garlic and we're going to put it right there in the middle of the pan. And we're going to let this hang out and cook for approximately 5 minutes. And that is going to start the garlic process. It's going to start cooking the garlic. Okay. That's all there is to it. Put it in there and start it cooking. All right, let's go back to the mushroom portion of the recipe. All right, so follow along the recipe, and the recipe says that you just cut the mushrooms in half, and you want 5 cups. So I've got my measuring cup here, ready to measure 5 cups. As always that I teach, you want your cutting board to be wet. Always have a wet cutting surface when you start chopping your vegetables so the board doesn't absorb the color and the odor of the vegetable you're chopping. Now, these white button mushrooms are really big. They just happen to be big today. So the recipe says to cut them in half, but that very large. So I'm actually going to quarter them. So use your best judgment when you're making this recipe. Mushrooms have a very high water content, so they will shrink once you start cooking them. So even though these look like big chunks of mushroom, that's totally fine. I'm going to throw some of the Baby Bella ones in there. If the Baby Bella ones are big, I'm also going to cut them in quarters. But here's a smaller one. So I'm just going to cut this one in half. But the bigger ones I'm going to cut in quarters. Now, for this recipe, you can use any type of mushroom you want. You could use 100% of the white button mushrooms. You could use 100% of the Baby Bellas. You could use a cremini mushroom, which actually Baby Bellas, the large portobello, and cremini mushrooms are all in the same mushroom family. Now, the Baby Bella ones, the brown ones, I think they have a little more flavor than the white button mushrooms, but all of them are fantastic. Love all mushrooms. Sometimes in the store, you can buy a package of mixed mushrooms where it's like shiitake, cremini, portobello, and they're like a mixed bunch of them. You could also use one of those packages like that. A lot of times I don't use 100% shiitake in a recipe because shiitake, number one, tend to be kind of expensive. And shiitake is also very medicinal. All mushrooms are medicinal, but the shiitake ones, you don't want to cleanse your body of toxins too quickly. So usually I don't use 100% shiitake. All right, so that is approximately 5 cups of mushrooms all cut up. How about that? I just estimated how many mushrooms I would need, and it ended up being the perfect amount. So that's awesome. I can hear the garlic is starting to cook. Another great thing there. Just clean up a little bit here. And we'll swing back over to the stove, and I'll show you what's going on there. Oh, I can already smell the garlic permeating my kitchen. Oh, it smells so yum. Look at that. Look at that garlic. Oh, so yum. I'm going to stir the garlic just once. I always bring it to attention when I teach a cooking class. You don't want to hover on the pan. You don't want to constantly be stirring whatever vegetable you're cooking in the pan, because if you're constantly stirring it, then the vegetable doesn't hit the hot surface and it never actually gets the opportunity to brown or to cook if you're constantly moving it. So I just moved it twice, and that's the second time I've moved it. I'm not going to move it anymore. I'm just going to let it hang out for maybe another 30 seconds. And then we're going to add the mushrooms. I don't like to overcook my garlic, but I do like it to be in a dish like this. It's imparting its beautiful garlic flavor into the oil too. Again, making it more flavorful and wonderful. So that looks pretty good to me. That garlic looks pretty good. All right, so the next part is you put all 5 cups of mushroom in there. And let's just mix them once so that we get them covered in that garlic oil, like so. All right. And then you put a lid on it. And you let it cook for 5 minutes. I still have it at a medium temperature for the 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not very long, but what's going to happen now as it cooks is the beautiful mushroom juices are going to come out of the mushroom, and they're going to impart their flavor all through the sauce that's already created. Now, this dish is going to taste exceptionally well if you serve it over whole grains. So if you have some brown rice already cooked, which I know you do, because if you ever attend any of my cooking classes, I always tell people to have brown rice in their fridge ready to go. I like mushrooms, but not garlic, although it has health benefits, right? Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you like mushrooms. And yes, garlic has huge health benefits. It's mostly known because it's an antibacterial. So anytime that your doctor would prescribe you an antibiotic, which has all the side effects, which kills, your digestive tract, you could take garlic. That's a natural antibiotic. It's also antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. So it is fantastic for you. Now, if you don't like garlic, you could substitute onions for this recipe, and you could have mushrooms in onion sauce. So I said that at the beginning of the video, just so you know, because I know some people love garlic. Most of my students love garlic, but some people, not a fan. So maybe you could substitute onions instead if you like onions. Charlene, hi. I love garlic. Eat loads of it. Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys tuned in. Yeah. Charlene picks wild garlic. Oh my God, when she posts about that, I go so crazy because I've never found wild garlic, unfortunately. I would love that. Oh, hi, Colette. Colette tuned in also. Thank you so much. Learning every day. I would have a little bit raw garlic, if anything. Yeah, Julie, raw garlic. God forbid, hey, we're humans. If you ever get sick, and you can handle eating raw garlic, eat some raw garlic because it's fantastic for you. Now, if you can't handle eating raw garlic, you can eat roasted garlic. The healing properties are not as strong, but they're still there. They're still there. So anyway, you can get garlic into your system if you're not feeling it. Definitely. So we're letting the mushrooms hang out for 5 minutes covered, and then they're going to be done. Let me tell you about some health benefits about mushrooms. Mushrooms contain zinc, potassium, selenium. Selenium is fantastic for your heart. Zinc helps boost your immune system. A raw garlic clove a day, exceptionally good for you and so tasty. Absolutely, Charlene. Yes, a raw garlic clove. Yes, absolutely. All right. Mushrooms are an excellent source of protein. So many people don't realize, because it's such an unassuming food, a little mushroom, which I call them vegetables, but actually they are a fungus. They are a fungi. So if you invite them to your party, You'll have a fungi at your party, right? But I call them vegetables. And so excellent source of protein. In fact, mushrooms are a complete protein. They contain all 9 essential amino acids. In fact, mushrooms have amino acids in them that are the building blocks to create the complete protein that's in the mushroom. So it's excellent source of protein. Also contain vitamin D. I think I mentioned potassium, but potassium is really good for your heart. You find that in your mushrooms. I didn't know there was mushrooms in protein. Yay. So I taught Charlene something new today. Yeah, the last cooking class that I taught was through a library, a local library here in Michigan, and it was stuffed portobello mushrooms. And when I started telling about the health benefits of the mushrooms and how they're so high in protein, one of the students said the same thing. I had no idea that mushrooms were an excellent source of protein. They are. They're a fantastic source of protein. Now, I highly recommend that you don't eat raw mushrooms, though, because your body can digest them so much better if they're cooked. Mushrooms have a tough cell wall on them, which makes them hard for your body to digest. And even you could just lightly steam them or just lightly cook them. It just makes them more digestible. And yes, I know summer's right around the corner, and a lot of us chop up mushrooms and just eat them in our salad. I know we do that. And but I'm just saying, for digestive purposes, the mushroom's going to be more agreeable in your stomach if you cook it a little bit. All right. Let's check these mushrooms. Oh, yum. Oh, the smell. Oh, the smell is so amazing. Now I'm going to take a fork and see what I think. Oh, I don't think they're done. Nope, I don't think they're done. I need a few more minutes. All right, let's hang out and give them a few more minutes. So this is mushrooms and garlic sauce. This recipe is out of my first cookbook, Perceptions in Healthy Cooking. So I teach cooking classes on a regular basis, and I'm located in Michigan. Some of my classes are virtual, and some of them are both virtual and in person. Now, coming up tomorrow, which is April 26th, I am teaching how to make a dessert. It is a lemon corn cake with blueberry sauce. So lemon and blueberry is one of my all-time favorite dessert combos. I love it. Now, the dessert I'm teaching tomorrow, it's a vegan cake. I am vegan, so I don't use any animal products. It is also gluten-free, if anybody's gluten-free. It's all organic ingredients, and it's also sugar-free. So anybody who has any blood sugar issues, I don't use refined sugar in any of my cooking either. So, but I guarantee that the cake is absolutely delicious. I have a few friends that are my taste testers, and they've already tasted this cake, and they absolutely gave it a huge thumbs up. Hi, Tony. Tony tuned in. Tony says that my cake sounds delicious. Thank you so much for watching the live feed. Hey, everybody who's watching, if you get an opportunity, if you could hit that like button so the video had more likes on it, that way the algorithms go up and more people could see it. And if you feel so inclined, you could also hit the share button so that maybe some of your other friends could watch the video too. Charlene says, sounds delicious. You're awesome, Val, Colette says. Thank you so much, Colette. You guys have made my day. Thank you so much. I just started doing these lives every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. That's Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on YouTube and Facebook at 3 o'clock every Tuesday. I'm either going to do a recipe for you, or sometimes I have special guests. Like last Tuesday, I had a special guest, Rachel Brown, and she did a couple desserts for us, a peanut butter treat and a really easy Snickers candy featuring a date that was very simple to make. So on my YouTube channel, which is Chef Valerie Wilson, you can watch all my videos. I upload videos on YouTube all the time if you haven't checked that out yet. All right, let's see what's going on with the mushrooms. Hey, by the way, all you people that are commenting and everything, if you have any questions for me, I can answer your questions here too. Oh, I think it's done because the fork's going in the mushrooms very quickly and very nicely. So now I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna turn the heat off because it's done. I'm gonna show you guys an up close picture of it. It smells absolutely amazing. And then we have fork tender, and we mix it all together. Now we have, like I said, this is mushrooms and garlic sauce. We have beautiful garlic sauce there. You could serve this over brown rice. Maybe you have some leftover pasta in your refrigerator. And of course, it's healthy pasta, right? Whole grain pasta. And or millet or anything like that. You could serve it over because you have that beautiful sauce. Now, I do have a couple last ingredients. Charlene says she shared it. Thank you so much. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and that's going over the mushrooms. I have 1 tablespoon of some organic lemon juice. This is our beautiful sour flavor, and sour is the signature flavor for spring. And then I have a little bit of greens. Now, the original recipe called for parsley, which I love parsley, but I just went to the store and bought organic arugula. I don't know about you, but I love arugula. Arugula is in the cabbage family. So it's actually in the same family as kale and super high in vitamin C and also has anti-cancer properties. And arugula has a little bit of a pungent flavor to it, which is really nice, gives you a little kick. Now, you only need about 1 tablespoon of the greens to serve it, so it's nice and pretty. So again, I chose to use some arugula, but you could use parsley if you wanted to. Yes, so mushrooms in garlic sauce, served with some arugula, seasoned with a little bit of lemon juice. This is a really great side dish. And you know what? If you don't eat this all at one sitting, you could put this in the fridge. Now, you could eat it right out of the fridge cold, but you know what else you could do the next day for lunch? You could put a bunch of lettuce on your plate, and then you could put this beautiful side mushroom and garlic sauce on top of your lettuce, and then you could have a salad the next day. So there's lots of ways to repurpose this dish if you didn't sit down and eat the whole thing right now at the sitting, right? Mushrooms in garlic sauce. I'm going to swing the camera back over here. I make this often, but I add a splash of red wine. Not sure if that makes it less healthy or not. Well, thank you, Colette. I remember Colette bought my cookbook, and so she makes this often, and she puts a splash of red wine. That is absolutely fine. That does not make it any less healthy at all. Nope. And if you like the flavor of that, go for it. And Tony says that looks so good. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, well, I got all of you tuned in. Let me tell you about this special event that I'm teaching on Saturday, May 20th. I am teaching a cooking class with 2 other ladies. Sid Nodder, which is both ladies are very talented and they teach classes and they both are whole foods, plant-based, vegan experts in their field. So I have Sid Nodder and I have Vicki Brett Gock. She's also here in Michigan. So there's the 3 of us. We got 3 powerhouse ladies teaching on Saturday, May 20th. And it's Scrumptious Burgers and More cooking class. Now, I am going to make a veggie burger that I call a traditional English pasty burger. Yes, the flavors are inspired by a pasty. Do you know what a pasty is? I sure hope so. If you live in Michigan or you live in England, you're going to know what a pasty is. So my veggie burger is inspired by a pasty. It's got the flavors of a pasty, and it's a veggie burger. So this is a big event happening on Saturday, May 20th. You can go to my website, macroval.com, and I got more information about that big event, and you can sign up for it. And Charlene says, yeah, I do. I'm English. Yeah, I figured Charlene would know exactly what a pasty is. Yeah, I'm so excited to teach this pasty veggie burger because I've given it to 2 people so far, 2 taste testers, and they both said that it was absolutely delicious and it reminded them of a pasty. So that's a bonus, definitely a bonus. All right, so mushrooms in garlic sauce with arugula. And the recipe is out of my first cookbook, Perceptions in Healthy Cooking. And my website is macroval.com. So make sure you check that out. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for all your comments. I love pasties and would love to see your recipe and pasty. Yeah, Charlene, go to the website. I don't have the recipe because the recipe is going to be taught in the cooking class. But if you go to the website, you can read about it. And hey, if you guys want to sign up for my blog, was it yesterday or today? It was yesterday. I just did a new blog all about a pasty. It was like the history of pasties. And I talked about rutabaga. And so, again, macroval.com is my website. And if you go to the website, it says sign up for Val's blog. And my blog is called I Am the Creator of My Health. And I cover all topics. Most of it has to do with food, of course. But because it's called I Am the Creator of My Health, it also has to do with, like I did a blog about going out in nature and how important it is to get close to nature and feel the energy of nature and how that heals your body. So my blog is all about healing your body, right? So, and I just wrote a blog all about the pasty. So Charlene, you might want to check that out. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing if you get an opportunity. And check out my YouTube channel, Chef Valerie Wilson. I do post videos on my YouTube channel. And every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, I'm planning on coming to you live. Okay. So if you get a chance, you can catch me live. If not, you can catch the recording later. And Charlene says, will do. Thank you so much. And I have to say, Charlene has the cutest cats, except mine, of course. But yeah, Charlene has the cutest cats that I just adore her pictures. I love seeing her pictures. Yeah. So this was really nice. Thank you all for all your comments. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say goodbye for now. My recipe's done. Hey, if you get a chance to make this recipe, let me know. Give me a shout out and say, hey, Val, I made this recipe and it turned out great and it's delicious. I mean, garlic, olive oil, mushroom, sea salt, lemon juice, and a little bit of greens. Very, very easy. Wonderful. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you soon.